Maybe, maybe not. It's not my business to like or not like where the culture is at.
Yeah.
It's my business to make the gate.
Wow, what a profile and courage. An inspiration for the ages is Jerry Seinfeld. Now, needless to say, this is a cowardly retreat. All the more cowardly because of how unnecessary it was. People talked about his original comments condemning the extreme left for about half a day and then moved on. At this point, he may as well have said it 600 years ago. He didn't need to issue any clarification, much less a full retraction and apology, but he was obviously quite disturbed by the pushback, however mild and fleeting it may have been. Jerry Seinfeld never had much edge to begin with, but whatever edge he may have had at one point, he has now lost, obviously.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video. Matt Walsh is once again destroying this woke idiot. This time it is Jerry Seinfeld for saying absolutely ridiculous things when it comes to the state of comedy, when it comes to the state of the woke cult, and if they've actually ruined comedy and just ruined the discourse in the world in general. Let's get into this clip here of Matt Walsh absolutely demolishing A-list celebrity Jerry Seinfeld for these ridiculous statements that he made about the woke and PC culture.
It's a bit of a sad moment for me. I've always liked Jerry Seinfeld. His show was a touch overrated, but still one of the greatest television comedies of all time, no doubt about that. He hasn't created a solid piece of entertainment, whether a film or a TV show, since Seinfeld went off the air 25 years ago, despite multiple attempts. But even so, he is undeniably one of the great comics. And over the years, he has shown a willingness to speak out against hyper PC culture and the deleterious effect that it has on comedy. He spoke out most explicitly in an interview with The New Yorker recently, where he said that the extreme left, in his words, is killing comedy. And as far as I can remember, it was the first time that he had directly called out the left. Now, not exactly an act of bravery. He's a 70-year-old comedian who's worth over $1 billion. So he's not putting much on the line by talking about these issues, but many of us appreciated it all the same. That is until the interview he just did with fellow comedian Tom Papa this week, where he backtracked on all of it.
I did an interview. So there were two things that I have to say I regret saying and that I have to take back. And I said that the extreme left has suppressed the art of comedy. Mm-hmm. I did say that.
Yeah.
That's not true. It's not true.
No?
No. Again, you want to go back? Let's go back to our solid liquid analogy.
Okay.
And the other thing that I have said about this, if you're Lindsey Vonn, if you're a champion skier, you can put the gates anywhere you want on the mountain. She's going to make the gate.
Right.
That's comedy. Mm-hmm. Whatever the culture is, we make the gate. Mm-hmm. You don't make the gate, you're out of the game. The game is, where is the gate? How do I make the gate and get down the hill in the way I want to? So does culture change? And are there things I used to say that I can't say, that everybody's always moving? Yeah, but that's the biggest, easiest target. You know, you can't say certain words,
right?
You know, whatever they are, versus about groups. So what? So these larger cultural themes, of this is not considered acceptable, this is not acceptable.
Yeah.
So I don't think as I said, the extreme left has done anything to inhibit the art of comedy.
Right.
I'm taking that back now officially.
Gotcha.
They have not.
Right.
Do you like it?
He literally just said, though, that there's culture changing and that he's not able to say certain things that he would have said before. If you're not able to say certain things that you said in the past, somebody is stopping you. Some force is stopping you from saying those things that you obviously wish to say because you said them before and nobody forced you to say them previously. The only side that is trying to do that is trying to stop people from saying certain things, censor certain words and certain conversations, is the left. Now, I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say in the comments. Do you think that the left is ruining / inhibiting comedy and comics from making funny jokes? Because I 100% do think that there's a factor in that. I don't even know how an argument can be made to the contrary. Just look at what happened during the whole Dave Chappelle Netflix special situation. I mean, there was I said this last time we covered this topic whenever Anna Kasparian was talking about Jerry Seinfeld talking about, you know, the left not censoring comedy before saying that they 100% did. Don't understand it. Don't understand the backtracking at all. Unless you got some you know, I don't even know, because getting paid off, like Matt Walsh said, getting paid off wouldn't really do anything because he's a billionaire already. But I don't really think that there's an argument to be made against the fact that the left is censoring and ruining comedy when you look at what happened with the whole Dave Chappelle situation. There was actual physical protest outside of Netflix headquarters. There were multiple Netflix employees that left Netflix because Dave Chappelle had a special where he mentioned trans people and made a joke about trans people. Comedy is supposed to be a place where everybody can get made fun of. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, orange, trans, normal, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. You should be able to get made fun of. If it's a funny joke, it should be able to be told. It doesn't matter how offensive it is to certain people. That's kind of the point of comedy. It's offensive to certain people, but it's all in good fun. It's all a joke. And now if Jerry Seinfeld is at the same time saying that the left is not ruining comedy and not censoring comedy and not stopping him from saying certain things, but also at the same time saying that the culture is changing and that certain things are not able to be said anymore, the only reason why the culture is changing is because of cancel culture, because of the woke cult. So it doesn't make sense. You're contradicting yourself right here, right now. But I'm curious to see what you guys have to say in the comments. Do you agree with Jerry Seinfeld here, or do you agree with more me and I'm sure what Matt Walsh is going to say here in a second?
Maybe, maybe not. It's not my business to like or not like where the culture is at.
Yeah.
It's my business to make the gate.
Wow, what a profile and courage. An inspiration for the ages is Jerry Seinfeld. Now, needless to say, this is a cowardly retreat. All the more cowardly because of how unnecessary it was. People talked about his original comments condemning the extreme left for about half a day and then moved on. At this point, he may as well have said it 600 years ago. He didn't need to issue any clarification, much less a full retraction and apology, but he was obviously quite disturbed by the pushback, however mild and fleeting it may have been. Jerry Seinfeld never had much edge to begin with, but whatever edge he may have had at one point, he has now lost, obviously. And we've seen this devolution, and it's been quite sad and tragic. We've seen it with nearly all of the greatest and most influential comedians and entertainers and cultural figures of his generation, the ones who are still alive. They've pretty much all retreated and gotten duller and blander with age. Howard Stern is another prime example. And we've talked about that many times. People often lament that George Carlin, who's obviously, he would be older, he's a generation above Seinfeld, but people often lament that George Carlin isn't around anymore to lampoon the woke insanity. What they don't understand is that if he was around, he would almost certainly be in the Howard Stern and Jerry Seinfeld camp. I mean, you should be thanking God. If you like George Carlin stuff, you should be thanking God he's not around. Okay, because he would be doing stand-up sets about how Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. He'd be doing a hilarious rant about why it's lame to disrespect a person's preferred pronouns. That would totally be what he would be doing. That's been the trajectory for nearly all of these people. Even Bill Burr has gotten distinctly more PC with age, like a lot more. Now, you would think it would go the opposite way. As you get older and richer, you'd give less of a damn what anyone says or thinks. But in most cases, the combination of age and wealth has a neutering effect. And these guys are comfortable with their place in life. They're fat and happy. The last thing they want to do is rock the boat, which is probably why it'd be best if most comedians just retired at 50. So we don't have to see them like this. Like it's
Yeah, that's a really good point from Matt Walsh there. It's not even just a comedian thing, by the way. It's like all aspects of life. You look at all of these people, they do 100% get neutered. And I don't even know if it has something to do with age or more just like losing their edge because they are rich, famous. Like they kind of accomplish the things that they want to accomplish in life. And they're kind of like, I just don't give a shit anymore. I'm just going to say what I have to say so I don't get a ton of hate, backlash, doxing, cancellations, all these things. You look at, athletes as they get older, they normally become more neutered. You look at, famous actors in Hollywood are a great example of that. Everybody that you used to look up to as a kid, everybody who starred on the shows and movies that you liked as a kid, they're all extremely woke. You look at people like Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. He's just like, I can't even listen to him. It's insufferable listening to the man speak. You already know what he's going to say before he says it. And it's all just woke nonsense. Mark Hamill, a lot of people's childhood hero as Luke Skywalker. You can't even listen to the guy speak because his TDS is so strong. And it's not just in Hollywood and comedy. It's everywhere, it seems like. These people 100% get neutered as they get older, and they just kind of give in to the woke left, to the societal pressure. It is a weird phenomenon. I wonder why that's happening. If you let me know in the comments if you have any theories, because I don't actually know why.
it's just sad and pathetic and painful to witness. And case in point, Seinfeld now says that the job of a comedian is to make the gate. I mean, I can't think of a worse, a more wrong-headed way of explaining what a comedian's supposed to do. And this is coming from a legendary comedian. But what he says is that the culture sets out the boundaries, draws the course, and a comedian is supposed to operate within those boundaries, supposed to navigate the course, follow the guideposts, stay on the path that the culture has created.
Yeah, it's not at all what a comedian's supposed to do. A comedian's supposed to do the opposite. Like, there's supposed to be some shock factor, some shock. You know, you're supposed to go outside of the societal norms. It's supposed to be the place where that happens. It's supposed to be like society sets up the gate that you're supposed to hit if you're an average everyday person, and then you go and watch comedy shows and you watch stand-up specials to escape from these boundaries that are set on you by society. It is wild that a legendary comedian like Jerry Seinfeld would say something like that. It's such a great point there by Matt Walsh. Let me know in the comments what you think about what Matt Walsh had to say about this Jerry Seinfeld statement here. It's a ridiculous statement in my eyes. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about it, though, because I think there's going to be a good bit of disagreement in the comments. So let me know what you guys think about Matt Walsh absolutely tearing Jerry Seinfeld, this A-list celebrity, legendary comedian, to absolute shreds here live on Matt Walsh's own show.